Listen to this carefully, because it's not just another text. It's not just another video playing on your screen. Something is happening right now at the moment you decided to press play. Something that didn't start here but found you here. What if I told you that this encounter wasn't by chance? That among millions of pieces of content, millions of words, millions of distractions, it was precisely this message that reached you at the exact moment you needed to hear it. It seems like a coincidence, but it's not. There's a silent movement happening beyond what your eyes can see. Something has begun to align in the spiritual world, and the echo of this movement has reached you. Comment below with faith, with intention, as if you were declaring this before God. I will prosper. Right believing, take a deep breath now. Slowly, exhale and feel it. Maybe you came here without any expectations. Maybe you were just scrolling, trying to distract your mind, escape your thoughts for a while, lighten the weight of the day, or even forget for a few minutes the worries that have been stealing your peace, especially those that no one sees, those that you keep silent, those that involve your financial life, your bills, your attempts, your plans that haven't yet left the drawing board, or even those dreams that you've begun to doubt will ever come true. But let me tell you something very clearly. This message reached you because there's an announcement being released about your life. And it's not just any announcement. It's an announcement of change. Something is starting to move. Maybe you can't see it yet. Maybe nothing around you has changed yet. But inside, something has already begun. And that changes everything. Before continuing, I want you to do something simple but powerful. Write in the comments, even if it's just a short sentence. I activate prosperity in silence. Do this as an act of faith. Because sometimes the first step isn't seeing, it's declaring. Now follow me here. Breathe again. Slowly, feel the air going in and out. And while you do that, let this truth sink in. You didn't get here by chance. There's been preparation happening in your life for much longer than you imagine. Every difficulty you faced, every door that closed, every delay that made you question everything, none of that was wasted. Nothing. What you called delays was often protection. What you called failures was redirection. And what you thought was the end was actually positioning you for something bigger. I know, it's not always easy to see that, especially when the bill arrives. When the money isn't enough, when you do everything, and it still doesn't seem like it's enough. When you compare your life to other people's and feel like you're falling behind. But pay attention to this. You are not behind schedule. You are being prepared. There is a huge difference between these two things. And understanding this can completely change how you see your own story. Because when you think you are behind schedule, you despair. But when you understand that you are being prepared, you gain strength to continue. And that is exactly what is happening now. You are being repositioned. Something is being organized behind the scenes. Something involving situations, people, opportunities, paths that have not yet crossed with yours, but that are already being aligned. It may seem like nothing is happening, but a lot has already begun. Now close your eyes for a few seconds, if you can. Take a deep breath and imagine this, as if there were an invisible gear turning, as if doors were starting to unlock, as if something that was stuck was starting to come loose. Because that is exactly it. There is a blockage losing strength. That which for so long seemed stuck is beginning to give way. And maybe you feel it as a slight inner shift, a different kind of calm, a strange feeling that somehow things will fall into place, even without knowing how. And do you know why this happens? Because when something changes inside, the outside starts to respond. You are being aligned to receive something that previously seemed too big, too distant, too impossible. But now, it doesn't seem so impossible anymore, does it? Something inside has started to believe again, even if it's very small, even if you still have doubts, even if part of you is still afraid. But the other part is awakening, and that's enough to begin. Now listen to me carefully. You are not alone on this journey. Even when it seems like nobody understands, even when you feel like you're fighting in silence. There's a greater force working in your favor, organizing things you don't see, connecting situations you can't even imagine, opening paths where before there were only walls, and most importantly, preparing you from within, because it's no use having an opportunity arrive if your mind isn't ready to receive it. And that's why it all starts here, inside you, in the way you think, in the way you see money, in the way you see yourself. How many times have you doubted yourself? How many times have you thought you weren't capable? How many times have you believed that prosperity was for others, but not for you? These ideas, these thoughts, these beliefs, these are exactly the things that are being broken now, one by one, without noise, without fanfare, but with real effect. You're leaving behind a scarcity mindset and starting to make room for something new, something bigger, something different from anything you've ever experienced before. Take another breath. Feel it. Because what's happening here isn't just motivation. It's not just emotion. It's alignment. And when there's alignment, there's movement. And when there's movement, there's change. And that change has already begun. Maybe you don't see concrete results yet, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. It just means the invisible is being prepared before the visible appears. And when it appears, it will make sense. Everything, every detail, every wait, every no, every moment you thought about giving up, but didn't. Nothing was in vain. Nothing. Now let me ask you something, and answer this honestly within yourself. Are you willing to receive what you've been asking for? Because receiving also requires preparation. It requires change. It requires leaving behind old versions of yourself. And that's exactly the process happening now. You are being molded to sustain what is coming. And yes, something is coming. Something big. Something that directly affects your financial life. Something that can change your reality. But before that, you need to believe it's possible, even without proof, even without guarantees, even without knowing the how. Because the how is not your part. Your part is to continue. It's to remain. It's to position yourself. It's to say, even in silence, I am ready. So write this down too, if it makes sense to you. I am ready to live the change. And feel the weight of that phrase. Because words have power, and internal decisions activate external movements. That wasn't just a fleeting good feeling. It was the beginning of a real internal change. And here's the point that many people don't understand. The transformation of your financial life doesn't begin with money. It begins in the mind. It begins with how you interpret the world, how you react to situations, how you position yourself in the face of opportunities, and above all, how you see yourself within all of this. Take a deep breath. Exhale slowly, because what I'm about to tell you can completely change your game. For a long time, without realizing it, you've been conditioned to live in survival mode, always calculating, always worried, always trying to make it work, always with that feeling that any wrong step could make everything crumble. And living like that is exhausting. It exhausts the body. It exhausts the mind. It exhausts the soul. But the most dangerous thing about all this is that this state begins to seem normal. You get used to living on the edge. You get used to thinking small. You get used to not expecting much from life. And little by little, your dreams diminish. Your expectations adjust. You mold yourself to a reality that deep down, you know isn't everything you could experience. But now, pay attention to this. You're getting out of that mode. Yes, getting out. Maybe not completely yet, but the process has already begun. And do you know how that happens? It's not with an instant miracle on the outside. It's with a silent shift on the inside. You start to notice things you didn't notice before. You start to question thoughts you previously accepted. You start to feel that there's more, much more available for you. And that generates something powerful, awareness. And when awareness changes, the direction changes. Now tell me, how many opportunities have you let pass by? Not because they didn't exist, but because you didn't feel ready? How many times have you doubted an idea? before even trying? How many times have you limited yourself for fear of making mistakes, for fear of losing, for fear of not being enough? These patterns are being broken now, and maybe you don't realize it so clearly yet, but something inside you no longer accepts living as before. There's a different kind of unease, a desire to change, a feeling that standing still is no longer an option, and that is a sign that you are awakening to a new level. Now close your eyes for a moment and think about this. What if everything you've experienced so far had been preparation? What if each difficulty had given you exactly the tools you needed for the next level? What if the problem had never been a lack of opportunity, but rather a lack of internal alignment? Breathe, because this changes everything. You don't need to become someone else. You need to release the version of yourself that is already ready, but that has been trapped in old beliefs. Beliefs like, money is hard to come by, it's not for me, I never succeed, I always fall behind. These phrases may seem small, but they shape decisions, and decisions shape results. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine starting to replace those ideas with stronger ones, more aligned, more true to what you want to experience. Imagine waking up, and even without having everything resolved, feeling that you are on the right path. Imagine looking at your life and realizing that, little by little, things are starting to move, because that's exactly what starts to happen when your mind changes. You begin to see possibilities where before you only saw problems. You start to act with more courage, even with fear. You begin to allow yourself to try, learn, grow. And that opens doors that were always there, but that you didn't see. Now listen to this carefully. There is a difference between wanting to prosper and being prepared to prosper. And today, you are entering the preparation process, a process that involves healing. Yes, healing, because many of your financial difficulties are not just external. They have emotional roots, past experiences, things you heard in childhood, moments that made you associate money with fear, with pain, with scarcity. And while this isn't addressed, you might even earn more, but you can't sustain it. That's why what's happening now is so profound. You're being reorganized from within. It's as if God is tidying your mind, clearing your thoughts, making room for something new. And the more space you create, the more prepared you become to receive. Now breathe again and feel this. You are no longer the same person you were before. Even if everything seems the same on the outside, inside, something has already changed. And this change will begin to reflect in your choices, in your attitudes, in your decisions, and consequently, in your results. But there's an important detail here. Change requires action. Not that desperate action, but a conscious action. Aligned, intentional, small steps, taken with clarity. And these steps begin to emerge naturally. When your mind is in the right place, ideas begin to appear. Solutions begin to emerge. Connections begin to happen. And you begin to realize that you are no longer walking alone. There is direction. There is a path. There is an answer. Now answer me honestly. Can you feel it? Even if it's slight, even if it's subtle, there's something different inside, isn't there? Keep that in mind, because this is the beginning of the turning point. And in the next part, you will understand how this internal movement begins to generate real, visible, concrete results in your financial life. And more than that, you will notice clear signs that the change is already happening. Stay with me, because now the transformation begins to appear. Now pay close attention to this, because here, everything begins to make sense. What you felt, what began to change within you, now it begins to manifest outside. And it is precisely at this point that many people give up. Do you know why? Because they expect the change to happen immediately, visibly, almost magically. But it doesn't work that way. First, the invisible organizes itself. Then the visible appears. And if you understand this, you don't give up in the middle of the process. You persevere, you continue, you trust. Take a deep breath Exhale slowly and observe your own life. Small signs begin to appear, an idea that appears out of nowhere, an opportunity that wasn't there before, a conversation that connects you with something new, a decision you make different from everything you've ever done before. This is not luck. This is alignment. You are beginning to move differently, and this completely alters the results you can generate, because your reality is a direct reflection of your decisions. And now your decisions are changing. You are more aware, more attentive, more open, and that puts you in a completely different position. Now think about it. What if what you're waiting for is already on its way? What if the answer you've been asking for has already been released, but is still in the process of reaching you? This changes how you expect, because you stop expecting with anxiety and start expecting with confidence. And confidence generates stability, and stability keeps you firm on the path. Now let me show you something important. Prosperity isn't just money, it's expansion, it's growth, it's freedom, it's peace. And when it starts to arrive, it doesn't come messing everything up. It comes organizing. It comes bringing clarity. It comes bringing direction. It comes putting you in the right place at the right time. And that's why you started to feel that calm, even with problems still existing. Because inside, you already understood that something is being resolved. Now imagine this developing in the coming days. You making better decisions, taking advantage of opportunities with more security, positioning yourself with more confidence, and little by little, seeing your reality change, not chaotically, but consistently, solidly, really. Because what's being built now has a foundation, and everything that has a foundation endures. Now breathe again, and let this truth sink in. You are living the beginning of a new phase, a phase where you no longer live on the edge, but begin to live in expansion, a phase where fear no longer paralyzes you. It only alerts you, but you continue anyway. A phase where you no longer sabotage yourself. You take a stand, and that changes everything. Now, before we wrap up this part, I want you to do something simple, but very powerful. Write in the comments, "I'm already living my turning point." Even if you don't see everything yet, even if there are still doubts, declare it, because when you declare it, you take a stand. And when you take a stand, movement happens. If this message resonated with you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, because there's much more coming. And it might be exactly what you need to hear in the next few days. And tell me, do you want to continue this journey? Now, take another deep breath, because what you started needs to be sustained. And here's something few people talk about. It's not difficult to start a change. The difficult part is not going back to who you were before, because old patterns still try to pull you back. That voice that says it won't work, that fear that tries to hold you back, that doubt that appears unannounced, all of that can still arise. But now there's a difference. You are no longer dominated by it. You realize it. And when you realize it, you choose differently. And it's exactly here that your new reality begins to take shape. Breathe, release slowly, and understand this clearly. You don't need to eliminate fear. You just need to stop obeying it, because courage is not the absence of fear, it's a decision. The decision to continue, even when feeling it. The decision to move forward, even without guarantees. The decision to trust, even without seeing everything. And you've already begun to make that decision. Now tell me, do you realize how your way of thinking is no longer the same? How you no longer accept certain limitations? How there's something inside you that wants more, that knows it can do more? This isn't empty ambition. This is awakening. And when someone awakens, they can no longer go back to sleep the same way. Now pay attention to this. Sustaining this new phase requires 3 simple but powerful things. First, awareness. Noticing when an old thought tries to return. Noticing when you begin to doubt yourself. Noticing when scarcity tries to take control. Second, decision. Choosing not to feed those thoughts. Choosing to act differently. Choosing to continue even when it's not comfortable. And third, consistency. Because it's not about doing it once. It's about repeating, It's about building a new mindset every day, one thought at a time, one decision at a time, one step at a time, and little by little, it becomes natural. Now close your eyes for a moment and imagine your life sometime in the future. You lighter, more confident, more sure of your decisions, with a different relationship with money, without that constant weight, without that silent fear, and with a real sense of progress. This isn't far away. This is being built now, here, at this moment, while you listen, while you absorb, while you decide not to be the same person anymore. Now let me tell you something important. Prosperity is not an event, it's a state, and you begin to live this state, even before you see the results. That's why some people change their lives, and others remain stuck in the same place. Because some wait to see to believe, and others believe, and therefore see. And have you already begun to believe, even if you're still at the beginning, even if you're still building this within yourself? But you've already begun. And that already puts you ahead of many people. Now breathe again, and let this phrase sink in. I'm not going back to who I was. If it makes sense, write it down too. Because that's positioning, and positioning defines destiny. Now stay with me, because the last part is where everything comes together, and you'll understand how to keep this alive and keep moving forward without losing what you started here. We've come this far, and if you're still listening, it's not by chance, because whoever really needed this message stays until the end, and that already says a lot about you. Now, take a deep breath, release it slowly, and pay attention to this. Everything you've heard so far wasn't just to motivate you, it was to awaken you, to align you, to reposition you. And now the decision is in your hands. You can leave here and continue living as before, or you can use this as a turning point, a new beginning, a new way of thinking, acting, living. Because the truth is simple, nothing changes until you change. But when you change, everything starts to respond. Your way of acting changes, your choices change, your results change. And little by little, your entire reality transforms. Now let me ask you, how do you want your life to be in a few months? The same or different? Because what defines that is not time. It's the decisions you make from now on. And you've already started. Here, today, at this very moment. Now hold on to this. You are not late. You are not lost. And you are not alone. There is a path, and you are on it, even if it's still the beginning, even if it's still building. But you've already moved forward, and that changes everything. So keep this message. Go back to it if you need to. Remember these words, because this isn't the kind of content you only hear once. It's the kind you live. Now, if this made sense to you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, because there's much more content like this coming, and it might be exactly what you need to hear at the right time. And I want to invite you, continue on this journey. There's another video here on the channel that delves even deeper into this transformation, and it might be the next step you need. Click on it and continue, because what started here isn't finished yet, and it can take you much further than you imagine. See you in the next video.